currently set up and ready to paint. It's currently sunset. I meant to start earlier, but what I'm going to do is try to paint from life as best I can with this light source for now, and when the sun sets, this will be my backup. I'm already all set up to paint, so I'm just going to do that, show you how I apply oil and chit chat with you, and perhaps in a different video I will talk about setup and supplies more in depth. And I also want to mention that this video is sponsored by Squarespace. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. I just want to jump in to this painting. I'm currently taking an oil class, which is so nice. And this assignment, our professor wants us to really push ourselves when it comes to color and use Wayne Thiebaud as an inspiration. So if you don't know who he was a pop artist in the 80s and does a lot of oil paintings. Our professor wants us to study his work, study his process, and somehow draw that into how we observe this still life. I love this one that he does of the cake or the pie. One thing that he does great is applying hues to white. He never really uses a pure white, as I observed. They're always kind of grayed out. And here he paints glass. It's never really clear. There's always food inside. So I guess I'll just see over here for the glass he uses green, and then orange and blue and red. The background is slightly yellow or slightly pink or slightly blue, so I think I'm going to apply that observation to my white wall. I'm not just going to paint like a white grayish wall. I'll probably make it bluish. I'm also thinking that I'm going to put some orange or red into the glass because the glass itself has a green hue, so complementary colors would make it pop. Right. So this is my underpainting, and you can see that this is obviously not a cola bottle, but I used this prop from class and I looked everywhere and I couldn't find it. I think maybe my professor removed it or locked it up. I went out and I bought a bottle of Coke and I drank it. I'm just gonna have to alter the shape because it concaves right here. Convex? Concave? Convex. I normally like to start with the background, so for that I use a bigger brush because it makes really nice gestures. The big broad strokes is really nice, I like that, and it's fast. Also, one thing that's really annoying about my setup is that my palette is on the left and not the right, and since I'm right-handed, I'm gonna have to reach over. But I'll just make do today. I'm guessing I'll make the background blue, and I'm gonna make the floor pinkish tan. And I'm using canvas paper, so it's not even canvas board or a wrapped canvas. This prep is pretty bad quality, but it's very affordable for, I guess, just practice paintings if you just want to do it on a budget. So I kind of just block the colors out really quickly, and my bottle's already disappearing, but this paint is quite thin and you can already see the underpainting coming through, which is a lot more dimensional than just painting on flat white. See, what I see in the bottle is like gray, and then more gray, and then green gray, and then green. I'm applying some pastel green, because that's the essence of glass, or specifically cola bottles. It's like a muted green tone. It's not just clear glass. Yeah, so I'm changing the shape of the bottle here really quickly, just because that's the way it's shaped. And I'm using a more darker valued green, but it's still very vibrant, as you can see. I hate how this brush is crooked because when I washed it and placed it in my toolbox to bring home, it must have just been caught on something and it dried like this. So it's going to be crooked until I wash it again. The general angle of this is something like that, I would say. So as I mentioned in the beginning, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. I'm really hoping to build my own site within the next couple of months, and I wanted to document my process. I haven't decided on a template yet. If you don't know what Squarespace is, it's an online platform, just a tool to build your own site, really of any kind, because it's very flexible. They have a ton of templates that you can look through. You don't really need to know anything about building websites in order to use this, because I don't know how to code for shit. So I'm really hoping to be able to create an amazing website where I can hopefully sell some merch on. In December, my sister and I came up with an idea to start our online store, and obviously that hasn't really happened yet. We made a bunch of merch actually, and we have a little box of it. We just haven't launched anything because we got really busy with school, and at first she wanted to try her hand at making it from scratch or attempting to code it. So before I go any further with the blue, I'm gonna actually start putting in details in the curves of the bottle. And I still haven't put in the darks because the back of the tag that I see through the bottle is quite dark, and I'm trying to imagine what that would look like if I wanted it to be more vivid. So maybe put some burnt sienna first, because when you add white to burnt sienna, it turns very vibrant even though the value is pretty low. I've changed the angle for a little bit so you can't see my reference, but I wanted to chit-chat a little more, and I thought that talking with my back to the camera wasn't a good idea, and I would hate myself when I'm editing, so you can see me and I can talk for a little bit. So right now I'm really missing the fluidity of all of the colors, I think, and even though you can tell it's glass, it's really flat. So I'm going to attempt to put some colors and gestures in to shape the glass. My background is too low in proportion to the bottle, so I'm going to bring that up because I feel like from here the floor is almost right there, like where I'm standing or sitting. I normally like to stand when I paint. It's better for your health, and also it makes your body just more fluid and free, and when you're sitting you're more stiff, but for the purposes of this video I am sitting. I think I've been using oil for 9-10 years now. I started when I was really young, right? I think of all the years, it was really last year that I just jumped in improvement because of the RISD freshman classes I was taking, and the workload is a lot, and sometimes it makes you forget about what you're doing and you just want to do it. A common frustration that people have when they want to paint or draw is that they're too in their head about it. They think too much about what it should look like or what they want in the end, and maybe because of school, or I'm not really sure why, maybe because I learned a lot last year or something, I don't have as much of a block in that sense anymore, and I'm able to really submit to the process, submit to my medium, and just go with it and really enjoy it. Oh, and also another random thing, if I were to do arting series where I just like craft or paint and things like that and chill out with you, what should I call it? I can't really think of anything. I would really love your suggestions, and you can leave some down in the comments. I'll probably ask my sister as well. I always ask her when I want to name something. She came up with Wee Wednesday. She came up with Cat Creature. So I'm painting the shadow, and I think I'm going to go in with some blue because when I studied Thibaut's works, it seemed like there was definitely a lot of vibrant blue hues in his shadows. So what I'm doing right now, I'm attempting to do an underpainting. So you know how I started with that underpainting rough sketch? So I'm doing an underpainting right now as well. I really want to know how your school terms are going, whether you're in high school, middle school, college. Tell me what you're studying, tell me your favorite class, and also if you have any plans for spring break. I actually just planned another trip to the West Caribbean in a couple of weeks, and I'm so excited to go. So I really want to push through these weeks of deadlines and schoolwork, and it's really easy to do that when you're looking forward to a tropical escape. My sister is going home and visiting her family, and I asked her if she wanted to come with me and Tyler, and she thought about it, but then she realized that when we go to the West Caribbean, we're going to be doing a lot of swimming and aquatic activities, and she hates water. I'm going to put in some of the bottle's colors into the shadow. It might play well with the blue that I am attempting to add in. Does it help imply that the bottle is translucent? I don't know. Maybe. When I'm sitting, I have to remind myself to not hunch. And I'm sorry if I don't always look you in the eye. I try, but then sometimes I fail. So as I mentioned this term, it's busy but very manageable, and I'm enjoying it a lot more than last term because we're doing a lot of hands-on learning, like weaving and knitting. I'm not taking knitting because I did it last year, as you guys saw, but in place of knitting, I'm doing painting, which is so good, and it's just a breath of fresh air into the week, you know, because I'm doing all of these weavings and silk screenings. I got really sick last Friday and I didn't do any homework for 2 days, so I had to catch it all up during the weekday, which was doable. It wasn't actually that bad. I went to bed before midnight each of those days, but I definitely would prefer if I don't have to procrastinate. I was supposed to go to the loom tonight, but painting kind of happened, so I'll do it tomorrow. And I'm so glad I did this because I swear up until sunset I was just in a really grouchy, irritable mood all day, and I'm not really sure why. Just no matter how well things are going and like nothing is really wrong, I just felt really down for some reason, and now that I'm de-stressing, it feels so good. I think I was just really stressed. That's probably what it was, because I kept thinking like, why do I feel like this? I'm fine. So I'm just gonna stop it here, and it looks pretty good. I have this issue of always overworking my paintings, and if I see something in the future that bugs me, I can always come back to it. But for now, I'll leave it be, and I'm gonna just clean up. You know, I used 5 brushes in the end, and go to bed. Mainly that's kind of why I'm capping it as well. It's like 10 with the new daylight savings, so I really want to go to bed and wake up early tomorrow again. And ooh, I have art history to read tomorrow morning. I always do in the mornings now. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching and keeping me company. And thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this and for giving me the amazing opportunity. And of course, this wouldn't be without my amazing community here on YouTube. So thank you for being here to share this with. And if you're interested in using Squarespace, go to this link, squarespace.com/catcreature. And for now, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day or your night. I will see you very soon, probably in an updated vlog, or I also really want to do an updated makeup routine because mine has been more simplified and inefficient. It's just what you see me wearing today, except I had a pasta break, so my lip stain is gone. But I really want to show you that, and hopefully I can film that sometime this week, so I will see you then. I hope that you don't hear my sister flushing. I love you.